Hey, I'm Melissa Rose, Angela from Sleepaway Camp, and I just want you to know that you're watching Mr. Tony of the Dead. Yeah!
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another movie review for everybody out there. And this one's going to be on The Jar. This is from TerrorVision, and it's directed by Bruce Toscano. This movie is about this guy named Paul who's driving down the road, and he accidentally gets into an accident with this old man. He's carrying this like jar around, so he wants to take the old man to the hospital, and the old man's like, no, I'm not going to go to the hospital. So Paul's like, well, just come back to my place, I'll get you cleaned up, and then you go to the hospital. And the old man agrees, and he takes him there. And when Paul goes to the bathroom, he comes back out, the old man is gone, but the jar remains. Movie came out in 1984, and it stars Gary Wallace, who plays Paul. He's like the main focus of this entire movie, and the movie is very, very trippy, and there's a whole weird history with this movie, and it's very strange in the interviews and that what they talk about and what they intended for this to become. Like, for instance, the name is actually Charon, I believe that's how you say it, but years later they saw it like on the shelves in Blockbuster, and it was The Jar, and it was released by Magnum Entertainment, like I said, in 1984, and they changed the name to The Jar. And the VHS, which I used to have, the cover is very, very misleading. It makes it look like it's like a fun horror movie, and it's not. It's very artsy, I guess, and you should go into this not expecting it to be like this full-fledged horror movie. It's not. It's very weird, experimental type of movie. This was written by George Bradley, and he talks about how when he was writing this movie, like went to like a library, and in there he was like just writing, and he was like really a deadhead back then, so he says like that had a lot of influence to it. And the reason why this movie is the way it is, they wanted to make a movie that people would like feel sick after watching or even walk out on, because back in the day they heard about like how The Exorcist, when that came out, and people were getting sick in the theater and walking out and everything, so they wanted to do that. And I'll tell you what, they succeeded. When Magnum Entertainment put this out on the shelves and everything, apparently it was like all chopped up, and it like had a lot of missing film to it and everything. So now this is like restored and put everything back in, and it's really, really weird, like a really strange movie. The creature in the jar is, well, I guess like this demon, and he starts to see things. Paul, the main guy, he starts to see things. He doesn't know what's real and what's not. It's like a dream within a dream within a dream. It's like, it's like not like Inception, but like it's really strange. You don't know if he's awake. You don't know if he's, really seeing what's there. And like at one point in time, he ends up in like a war, and then another time it's like he gets a spear through his gut, and like he sees like weird things. He wakes up and like this metal spiked ball hits him in the face. It's very, very strange. He's like on a cross, then he sees people carrying a cross. Nobody like is hearing him when he's yelling and stuff. And he meets this girl named, I believe it was Julie, and she wants to help him and everything. She like met him in the elevator, and she was bringing up a rocking chair, and he helped her bring it in, and he's incredibly rude to her, but like she like wants to help him. She feels bad for him, wants to be friends with him and stuff, and they go out for a drink, and like the whole time this is going on, like he's seeing crap, like he's seeing things all over the place. In fact, two of the versions on here, you could watch it in high contrast and low contrast, and I believe they do that because the director had a vision, and it didn't really like get shown the way he wanted to back then. So now that it's on Blu-ray, you can get that, and I get it. It's kind of hard to watch though. Like it's very visually like lots of colors, and black and white here 1 minute, then it's like Blu-ray quality another, and then it's like big greens. One time I thought something was wrong. It looks like a negative, like on the side, like all this green is coming in, and like that's on purpose. And so it's kind of, I guess in a way, it's kind of cool that they wanted to do that idea. But at the same time, I don't understand why you would want people to be sick and walk out of your movie, because I'll tell you what, The Exorcist is a lot of people's favorite movie. I don't think it's scary anymore, but like, a lot of people find it to be the most terrifying movie. This movie, I could definitely see people walking out on, and I guess that's not a bad thing if that's what you want, but like, it's definitely not a movie for me. I thought I saw this a while ago because, like I said, I had the VHS, and I swear I saw it. I was like, "Oh, it's coming out on Blu-ray. It's great. It's a good movie." And I must not have seen it, or I must have mistaken it for something else, because the movie, to me, is not very good at all. Like I said, I keep saying the word artsy, but it's very just really strange. And it hurts your head after a while, because so many things are going on, and this thing in this jar like has this like really weird, evil, childish, demonic laugh. And it's just a thing in the jar, which in the interview the writer still has that little mold from the guy in the jar, which, I'll be honest, if somebody had made that into like a action figure or something, and like, like a little bit of like a thing in the jar, I would get it because it looks cool. But the movie, I don't care for. That's just my opinion. I don't really care for the movie. I really appreciate the idea, what they wanted to do. Wanted to go down a different route than everybody else, and they wanted to make the movie for them. They're very snobby about how they cut the film, like how back then they cut their film and everything, and now everything is so easy with the click of a mouse, which I totally get that. Like, I'm old school with things, still physical media. A lot of people rather digital, and I get the whole cutting the film. I've never done that. Like, I never made a film before, and I can imagine that being such a pain in the ass. So I'm glad that I can just point and click, but I don't have the knowledge to do that. So I could see why it is a certain feeling and, experience, especially, back then, that's how things were made, and that's how everybody was doing it. And now everybody can make a movie, which is not bad, but everybody can make a movie, and it's so much easier and blah, 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 and you could just use your phone and everything. And maybe it's just like complaining, like they're getting old or something, because he even said that, like, maybe I'm that old fogey or whatever he said, that now is complaining about this. But I get it. I get it, but I'm glad their vision is finally out for the world to see and everything. But like, it's not for me. It's not going to be for everybody. But I know there's a lot of fans out there that like this movie, but unfortunately I'm not one of them. The interview was very interesting, though. It was interesting to hear what they had to say and everything. So, it's a good interview with them, and because you kind of need to watch it to understand. Because if you just watch this movie and then just stopped afterwards and just like, what was that? You have no explanation of why it was the way it was. And if you watch the interview, you get, like I said, an idea where they were coming from and what they were trying to do at the time. And, again, I respect that. Now I'll show you what this looks like here. Obviously you could see it, but like, I'm not very happy with this. I know the movie's hard to see, and not shouldn't say hard to see. I know it's like not clear, and that's the thing. But like, these images on here are terrible, and I guess maybe that's another reason why it's like that, because the movie isn't very clear, except for like he goes to a park or something, and like the park is like perfectly like Blu-ray quality and everything. It's like, oh, okay. And then like 1 minute it's like, a weird, I don't know, editing or something. It's really strange. But like, I think for the covers and everything, they could have did a better job, but maybe they did the best they could with what they had, so I'm not going to knock it completely, but I do love the colors on here. I hate this name. I think this is a terrible name. I think the jar, as generic as it sounds, I think it's a much better title. And like I said, the cover to it back in the day was way better than this. And in fact, I know that that wasn't their idea, but it was definitely a marketing tool, because you see the original cover from Magnum Entertainment and on the shelf, and it's like, what is that? That looks so cool. And then it's not what you think. Here's the sleeve, and it's the same as the slipcover, on the inside and that. And on the back here, you have the special features. It has the commentary with Bruce and the writer, George Bradley, and with TerraVision's Brad Henderson. And then you have a commentary with George Wallace and Brad, and the making of the documentary. And they actually talked to Gary Wallace, who was Paul in the movie, and further reflections with them, interview with Craig Baker, interview with Craig Klein, stills gallery, Gary at the music box, and newly created subtitles, which the subtitles were very good. I did watch this in subtitles. I always watch things in subtitles because I sometimes hear what I want to hear, I think. So it was good to actually have that. And it says here, like, while the film was shot in scope, the distributor released it in butchered cropped presentation, cutting about half of the intended frame in a murky VHS transfer. So they restored this to what it is and helped, like I said, help the director and the writer like get their vision out there, which was cool of them to do. I'm glad that they finally got this out there, and people are, a new audience is going to check it out. I love that spine too. I love the green and the yellow. Like, that's such a great matching color scheme, I guess that's the word. But yeah, the jar looks very, very nice. I think all in all, though, that TerraVision did a good job of bringing this to life, and letting, like I said, a new audience of viewers be able to check this out, because it is a very obscure movie. It's rare, and thanks to TerraVision, now it is on Blu-ray, and now, like I said, more people can see it. And if you're wondering, this is TerraVision number 41. There's a lot of TerraVision so far, and there's more coming out, so it's a great company. I really do like it. I'm gonna be honest, not every movie that they put out is a hit for me, but I still think it's great that they're putting out these obscure movies, and rare and hard to find kind of things. So while the jar, like I said, is not for me, it might be for you. So I'll put a trailer in the description box down below. You could check it out. I'll also put a link below for TerraVision. You can go check them out, check their website out. They got a lot of stuff over there. Not only do they have Blu-rays, but they also have LPs and cassette tapes that they sell, soundtracks to movies and things like that. And there's a lot of stuff coming out that is very exciting, that's going to be coming out, and there's already a lot of stuff out that is already exciting. I have most of them. So yeah, go check them out. It's a really great company. They do a great job with the transfer. The slipcovers are good quality. This, to me, I think could have been different with the cover and everything, but I think they did a good job of what they had to work with. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you could do me a favor, though, and hit that thumbs up button, it really helps the algorithm and gets my video out to more people that might not know who I am. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And also, leave a comment below. Let me know if you've seen this movie, what you thought of it. Is there something I'm missing, that like I'm not getting? And, we'll talk about it. Let me know below in the comments. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.